The Fred Kerley situation is still a situation, and no, things are not looking good right now. Before I go any further, allow me to be very clear. This is one of those videos that I originally had no intentions on making because absolutely nobody really knew this information was going to drop, but it did. So apparently, Fred Kerley, the same Fred Kerley who is a world champion in 2022, in the 100-meter dash, might I add, and the same Fred Kerley who is an Olympic medalist in 2024, in that same event, that Fred Kerley, he is now under review by, I think, the Athletics Integrity Unit, and with that, with the real thing they're reviewing is whereabout violations. Long story short, that means the provisional suspension from competition. Now, we didn't know if we were going to see Fred Kerley compete again this season. And whereabout violations, nobody really understands, or at least most people don't really understand everything that goes into it. Long story short, it's not that hard to get a whereabout violation as a track and field athlete. It's all related to, testing for banned substances, and you kind of have to update where you are and where you're going and appear for different tests. And long story short, if something goes left and you're not in the right place at the right time, you can get a whereabout violation. This is the same thing that got Christian Coleman suspended for about a year and a half. They put one suspension on the books and reduced it, but at the end of the day, he missed the 2020 Olympics, where at that time, he was slated or expected to be one of the primary contenders for a medal if he had actually gone out there. Again, that was then, this is now. But the Fred Kerley situation, like in 2025, has been far from ideal. I mean, let's be honest, it has been like that. If you go all the way back to the top of the year between, situations involving, Miami police, actually for that matter twice, once in the early part of the year, unrelated to competition, another one where he was, on the day of a press conference with, Grand Slam, where, again, he got mixed up in a situation that was far from ideal. He did compete on the Diamond League. Like, that did happen earlier this year. And he mixed it up. He did run in one Grand Slam track meet in Jamaica. We did see him run in, some sprint series meets. He went 998 wind legal, 9.8 wind assisted this season, but then pulled out of the USA Championships. That was a decision that he made. I wish Fred Kerley the best and want to see him compete. But when I say things are not looking good, I mean, let's just, get this out there, that people want to see him competing like himself. Fred Kerley is actually one of the greatest talents that we have in track and field. And an athlete like him is actually robbed by the current system. It's ironic that he actually did win a world championship in the 100. But if you're new here, I want to say thank you for even making it this far into the video. And I'm Coach Rob, and if you really want to know what's going on with the fastest athletes in the world, then you are in the right place. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section, because I try to read them all. If you think about how the college system in NCAA works around scoring points to help your team win a national title, Fred Kerley is the type of athlete you actually want. And for the record, he did help his team compete on that level when he was at Texas A&M. He can run the 400 at a very high level. He even still ran 44.7 this year. The one time he ran the open 4, he did it at Mount Sac just because he could. Like, hey, just for kicks, let's go out there and do it. Because people kind of forgot that Fred Kerley was a sub 44 400-meter runner. In the 200, he's broken 20 multiple times. But that's not that special when you consider he went 9.76 seconds. Broke 9.8 multiple times in the 100. And again, more or less when there's a big race, more often than not, Fred Kerley's going to get a medal, regardless of the color. He has gold, silver, and bronze in his chest. Like, he collected all of them. And 2025, again, we knew we weren't going to see him at the Worlds this year, and didn't know if we were going to see him on the track again. And maybe that's some of why the whereabout violations even happened. Maybe he just wasn't planning on competing and something went down. But anytime your name gets caught up in this, like this language and, suspension, provisional suspension, or what have you, it raises a lot of eyebrows. Which is why I'm going to step away from the Fred Kerley situation and address the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is, in track and field right now, there is a layer of distrust that people have around the athletes. The athletes, the times they put out, the performances, all of it. Fred Kerley is a competitor. That's what he is. He goes out there and competes against the people who actually show up. The fast times are a byproduct of competition. You're not just chasing the clock. You're actually trying to beat people. And Fred Kerley's been pretty good at that in almost any event you put him in between the 1, 2, and the 4. All the pressure around, suspensions and, banned substances and so on, a lot of that is a byproduct of shifting the sport away from competition. This is my opinion, right? putting it out there, comment section, you let me know how you feel. But when we take away the focus on competition and winning and focus so much on the clock, it puts an incentive for an athlete to go out there and, try to do whatever they think they have to in order to achieve it. Again, winning and the clock, they're related, but not exactly the same thing. This is the reason why we have people who discredit Noah Lyles because of his championship success, because they want to see faster clocks. And they might elevate another athlete, let's say a Kashane Thompson, because they're focusing on the clock without focusing on consistent championship success. The two things are related. They are, but they're not exactly the same thing. The Fred Kerley situation is, very unique. This year has gone far away from ideal when it comes to him, but he's just one athlete in a larger sport ecosystem. The fact that nobody really knows what these provisional suspensions are, when they're going to end, things are under review. And again, if I were to give you a list of the number of athletes who've been tied up in whereabout violations, many of which have gotten those situations cleared, but they still got tied up in it. Some of them were, again, provisionally suspended, then got it cleared. This might be one of those moments where the provisional suspension happens, it gets peeled back like it never happened at all, and we just act like it wasn't a thing. But it is. It is a thing. And it's not a great look for the sport. I mean, I can't be alone in this, in saying that this is an issue. We don't want to see our athletes tied up in all this mess. Because if you're on the fringes of track and field, again, the casual fan, the one who watches the Olympics and says, oh, that was fun. I enjoyed watching those athletes go out there and compete. And now that's over. And then you start hearing stuff like this about the same people you just watched on TV. It's not going to make you want to pick up and watch another race anytime soon. Just saying. We want to see the best athletes go out there and compete in races that actually matter. That's all we want. I think I speak for most fans. And if they go out there and tell us that it matters and compete at the highest level that they can, again, running in those races, like winning those championships matter, the fans are going to be happy and they'll tune in. Because to be quite frank, the races themselves aren't the value. Maybe the world championships, but everything else, not so much. Those races come down to who's on the line. And once we recognize who's on the line and acknowledge their talent, winning and losing starts to matter to the fans. Because people want to see the matchups. And anytime Fred Kerley gets into a race, regardless of who he's competing against, there are the matchups to pay attention to. But for now, we're not going to get to watch those matchups, at least not with Fred Kerley, anytime soon. In the sport of track and field, confidence is everything. Because when you win, that is just the moment when everybody else finds out what you already knew to be true. That fast is a lifestyle. Get your fast is a lifestyle track and field gear at scarecruiting.com/shop or use the link in the description below. It's a huge support to me and this channel so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.